And we are live on the Nerdrotic podcast from San Francisco, California. We are live on YouTube, Facebook. We are not live on iTunes and Podomatic. And we might be some other places. My name is Gary Buechler, and I am one of your hosts. And down in San Diego is my co-host, Dennis Bithoulkas. What is up, Dennis?
Sky and some birds and a couple of plants.
Oh, shut up.
That's what's up.
And Ganymede. Okay. I just wanted to start off saying Ganymede to get that out of my system.
I'll say nerdrotic.
Yes. What's up, Expanse fans? We just finished watching season 2, episode 12, The Monster and the Rocket, and this was a dense episode. They crammed about 3/4 of the book into 1 hour and made it very entertaining, I thought, anyway.
I liked it.
Yeah. I really wish I could have watched it again, Oh, there, I just flipped my own card. I could watch it again and gotten a little more out of it. My notes are insane on this one, and we're going to try to stay somewhat linear with this one, but you know how we roll here at Nerdrotic. We're like kind of like a gnat in a pinball machine. Yeah, like a fruit fly.
Freeform
ADD podcasting at its best. Starts out with Errinwright, our good friend Errinwright. And we think he's become remorseful and he's found his soul, and he has a nice little chat with his boy, on his way to school. And they're really setting up the man's gonna take himself out. They even went as far as to show him shaving, and he cut himself in the neck a little bit and showing a little blood. And we thought, he paused, yeah. And maybe he was thinking about it. And we just, that's the way it kind of looked. It kind of looked like this was going to be the long suicide of Errinwright, but the one thing I really love about the show, Dennis, is it doesn't do what you expect it to do,
Yeah. No, it was actually pretty good. I mean, I kind of figured he wasn't going to kill himself, but at the same time, the way they were doing it, it was like, okay, are you really going to do this, or is he going to weasel out of it somehow? And sure enough, he weasels out of it very well and comes out on top.
Yeah, that was the Game of Thrones moment, and I'm sure a lot of people are going to bring that up. Other shows do that stuff too, but people want to call this Game of Thrones in space. I'm okay with that. And yeah, he does come out on top, and we will get to that later. But again, this episode jumps around more than one of our normal podcasts does. And we've got Errinwright about to go to some hearings to basically take the fall for the proto-molecule being in the hands of Mars.
Actually, EOS, as they call it, the EOS incident.
The EOS?
Excuse me, Eros,
yeah.
I said EOS. Sorry, I've been playing a little bit of another video game, and it's EOS on there. Sorry.
And that's why you don't play video games. It messes you up in your podcast. Okay. So we've got Errinwright about to go to these hearings. We've got Prax, Holden, and Alex hot on pursuit of the proto-molecule monster, which we found out is a child. We have Bobby, who was just defected and is with Chrisjen and Katyar, and they are about to go to probably what is a trap with Pierre Mao, who wants to, come clean in exchange for some things. We have Melissa, Naomi, and Amos on the Weeping Somnambulist, trying to get it together to get I think there's 300 people left on Ganymede, and they're trying to get them off, and they're trying to repair the ship and, fight off what is a riot right now.
Oh, it's just the Somnambulist, by the way. It's the ship. The name of the episode was
well, that's the name of the ship.
I thought
the Weeping Somnambulist.
Okay,
it's also the episode name, and it was the name of that ship. So we have it's kind of our Empire Strikes Back moment. Everybody's separated, but the media stuff was everybody. I don't even know where to start on this, and we'll just continue with Errinwright. Errinwright looks like it's just a long, slow burn to his suicide. And he has a little talk with his kid and has a nice little how to be a man, which is go where the heart is.
Follow your heart.
Follow your heart.
Don't listen to what everyone else says. Follow your heart.
Okay, that's good advice. kind of bland, and I expect a little more from Pops, especially when he's about to do what he's about to do. And he talks with Chrisjen and gives her some metal that he earned, and he wanted to make sure it went to his son, I believe.
Yes. Yeah.
And in case something happens to him.
And he writes a letter to his daughter, and
yeah. So it just looks like he's about to commit suicide, and he takes a meeting with the Martian defense minister, whose name was Korshinov. Glad I wrote that down. And they drink a bottle of 107-year-old, what is it, Scotch whiskey or Scotch? I don't know about.
107-year-old Scotch that was found at the bottom of the ocean in a wreck.
In a wreck. Okay, that is in the future from us. And they have a moment of honesty between them, and they go right into the protomolecule, and it was just basically your Game of Thrones moment again of, sorry you had to lose, buddy, but this is how it goes. And of course, he sits down and has a drink with them, and I don't know, maybe I'm paranoid, but if I was in a high stakes anything, I wouldn't sit down and have drinks with anybody, okay, without a food tester or something, right?
I wouldn't eat or drink anything at all. Yeah.
No. And Chrisjen does the smart thing on that later, although Bobby didn't. Right?
that's kind of like Cochier. It's just kind of looking at her like, you're a fool.
She was hungry.
She's just stuffing her mouth full of the cucumber sandwiches.
Yeah.
Well, those just kind of like looking at her like, you're going to die. Okay, great.
Those are good. I like a good cucumber sandwich in space. So Errinwright, instead of, he has, after he writes that letter to his daughter, he pulls out this little green liquid capsule or whatever, and it's like, okay, fucking kill yourself already, and that's when I started to think, right when they started to have the meeting, that's what, I'm a little slow on the take on these things. So that's what I'm like, oh shit, Well,
see, what tipped me off was when he was signing the letter, he signs it Setavar, and then he labels the about outside of the envelope to Jody, his daughter. And I'm like, why didn't he say love dad instead of love Setavar? And I'm like, that's kind of an odd thing to write.
Yeah.
And then I was thinking about it, I'm like, oh, that's just a letter for her to deliver to somebody else.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So this is a long game. I mean, this might not be over yet.
No.
So he poisons, not to bury the lead, he poisons the defense minister of Mars, and it's a really cold-blooded scene. And, he looks at him right in the face. He's like, well, sorry, you had to lose, pal. And looked angry, and the guy just, croaks right there. And it was actually a drug used. I didn't catch all of this, but
it basically targets people that are taking that drug for the low gravity.
Yes.
And it's can be tailored to people's genetic makeup. So he actually had it tweaked to Korshinov, yes.
Yeah.
To his specific DNA. So it only affect him. That's why he could drink it. You see Setavar actually drink out of his Korshinov's glass, and nothing happens to him. And that's the reason why, is because it's geared towards his DNA.
Yeah.
Only.
That fucked up. It is really fucked up, and they have a heart attack. Yeah, right. They have cardiac arrest, and
no trace whatsoever.
I want the viewers out there to remember this too. There's also other aspects. I don't think this is the exact drug, but there are a bunch of designer drugs in this world, and they've tested a lot of them and banned a lot of them. And I do believe one will be coming up next. I think they're going to move a couple of the books faster, and one will be coming up next season, and it will be pretty badass if they do it right. And it has to do with Pierre Mao. Speaking of which, Chrisjen and Bobby and Kochiar take off to space, and they're going to go have this really, really dumb meeting. Chrisjen, I don't know. This is in line with the book, and she knows she's walking into a trap, but she feels like, at least in the show, it feels like she has to do this for Errinwright too, and she's just trying to stop a war. Okay, so she knows this could get me killed, And she even mentions to Cartier, like when he's giving her shit, she's like, they'll never find your body or something like that.
Yeah. When I get, it's because he's talking shit to her about, we're walking into a trap. First, she's really nervous about the space flight, so she asks someone to talk to her, and Cartier is like, we're walking into a trap, and he's just making her more anxious. And she's like, when I get through with you, no one will ever be able to find the body.
Yeah. And I don't identify flying into space. Every time I get in a plane, that's exactly how I feel. I have a horrible fear of flying. I don't like it. I'll do it, if it's someplace worth dying for, but I'm not a big flyer. So that's how I'm like gripping on there. Not good with the flight. And Bobby's kind of clowning her and laughing at her too.
Yeah.
So they get,
and also she's clowning Cotier as well.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
And
she I hope we get more of those two. I don't know if we are gonna. I don't know if anybody's gonna survive this. But like I said, they crammed a good 4 chapters of just Avasarala's story into one episode, which is good and bad. The one thing they took out, which I guess I can kind of spoil because it's not going to happen, is they found a way to get Bobby's armor on the ship in the book. And she, and in the show, it really would have made 0 sense for them to, I'm going to go on this secret flight and, can I have my armor too? They have to go through a lot of stuff to get her armor, which they don't have time on the show to explain. I think it's also budgetary, her wearing that big Iron Man armor, but it does make her kind of a superhero. So, and, but I don't think that's going to happen. But I think we might get her kicking ass. So,
just an aside, what I would like to actually see is Cotier, Bobby, Amos, and Alex all together on the ship. That I would actually pay money for.
And I think that could happen. That could definitely happen. That would be, if that turns out to be the crew for at least a season, that would be freaking brilliant. That would be great TV, and it could happen. It looks like it's going that way, right? So there, where is the ship? Did they talk? Is it on a dock somewhere, or
which ship?
The Meow ship, Pierre Meow.
Pierre Meow. Excuse me, Jules Pierre's ship. It's not a ship. It's actually a hotel that's in space. It's a luxury hotel, and it's masked. Actually, it's supposed to be for. That's why it moves. It moves around, so it's supposed to be for high-end people, and it's supposed to be a masked ship. That's why they were saying she needed the coordinates in order to get there.
Okay,
that's why Sadavar was actually tracking Chrisjen's ship in order to find out exactly where Jules Pierre was.
Oh, and that's why that when he was killing the defense minister on his phone, it said target acquired. Okay.
Yeah, exactly.
I gotcha. Okay. I thought, because I'm just going from the book, it's a luxury liner in the book. It's like a yacht. So, they meet, they have their little chat, and Pierre Mao basically says, I will talk to you later, but first you have to exonerate my entire family, unfreeze my assets, blah, blah, blah. I mean, just like a shitty deal, honestly.
Yeah.
And then he offers to, like, I'm still going to give the proto-molecule to Mars and to Earth, and we could do the mutually assured destruction thing for a while. And Chrisjen's like, what the fuck are you talking about? Yeah. And then the message comes in from Erinwright, and he says, he does his little monologuing. I've killed the defense minister, but he got himself back in the game.
And he says, I've got you targeted. And he says, I know where you are, and I can kill you at any time, unless you do what I say. And then he says to Chrisjen, he goes, I'm sorry, but you were the one who drilled this into my head. Basically telling her, it's your own damn fault. You told me exactly what to do, and I'm doing it. And she's now at the bottom rung.
Typical sociopath, blame somebody else for your psychotic behavior. Yes. She probably did drill it into your head, but not like, kill 1 million people on a space station kind of thing. I don't know. That's why you don't want to leave stuff like Earth first, my whatever first, subject to interpretation, because bad things can happen. It's all in the fine print. So he tells her that she's screwed. She knew she was getting in this, and then he tells Pierre Mao, he's all, okay, I want you coming back. We're gonna talk. We're gonna get this proto-molecule going, and I want you to come back alone. And
Yeah.
dun, dun, dun,
As
dun.
he puts it, you're going to get back to fucking work.
Yes, you're going to get back to fucking work. So he backs out. He's got his men, all the guns pulled, and the only one with a gun is Kotiar, and he pulls it, and Pierre Mal backs out with about 4 of his bodyguards, but he leaves 3 of them in that little waiting room with the nice couches and the cucumber sandwiches. And that's where they leave it. I was hoping they would at least go back to that for a second, but I guess that's going to be some, they look kind of screwed. And there's enough changes in the books to where I don't know. I mean, I kind of know what's going to happen, but I don't fully know what's going to happen. That's the cool. And the changes have been really good. One of the best changes, Dennis, is Naomi. Is the writing of Naomi in the show. I like her in the books. She's fine in the books, and she develops into a great character eventually. But in the first 2 or 3, she seems more of kind of an aside character, and here she's more of a main character. She's fully developed, and I just loved what they did with the Weeping Somnambulist and the Melissa scenes. It starts out with they have the air regenerators, like Mars is stopping and turn them off or something.
No, because remember the air scrubbers were already damaged. The cascade effect was already happening.
Yeah,
and so they were shutting off different levels.
Okay,
and the levels were shutting down more and more, and so everyone's being herded into different docking bays to the ships. And so the docking bay where the Weeping Somnambulist is at, you got about 150, 300 people in there. And all the docks, the transports out to the other docks are now blocked because there's no air in them, and they've cut they've put the doors down, and that's what they said. One of the guys said,
and they can't get more oxygen to the ship. So the ship, the ship, which can hold over 300 people, now only has enough oxygen for 52.
Yep,
a good DC number there. I bet you that was a shout out. And every time you hear 50, there's 3 numbers. You hear 616, you think Marvel. You hear 42, you think Douglas Adams. You hear 52, you think DC. At least I do. I don't know, but I'm a nerd. So they only have air for 52, and they got this big guy out there who they offered a seat to. I didn't catch his name, and he didn't
say his name.
He's just
a big guy.
Big guy, and he's been keeping everybody out and semi in line. With the sawed-off shotgun, while Naomi is trying to fix up the ship, and she's a genius mechanic, so obviously she fixes it. And Amos is he was kind of out of it this episode. He's
been bleeding pretty bad out of the shoulder wound,
and they drugged him up. And when they figure out that they're just going to, at some point, they were just going to leave everybody. They're like, this is getting crazy. This has gotten out of hand. And
people are rushing the door, and they're trying to in, and they're like, we can't open it because there's no way they're just going to let 52 people in. Everyone's going to try and cram in.
And we got one lady holding up like a baby, and it just.
And Naomi's like, just let me go and talk to them. And Amos is like, she's right. And if you open that door, you're going to get killed. You're going to get ripped to pieces. And she just hits Amos with the tranquilizer once, and he's still moving. She hits him again, and then she hits him that 3rd time, and he's done.
Nah, he was out. That was right in the chest too.
Yeah,
that couldn't have felt good. But yeah, Amos is going to be very high for a long time. So yeah, but he was going to force her down in the chair too, and she was getting kind of pissed about that. So he kind of had it coming. And Naomi. And we find out what her motive. I mean, she's not going to leave anybody else behind. She felt like they all feel completely screwed up about Eros. Holden's going insane, which we'll go to in a second. And she like Naomi goes out in the airlock and almost gets strangled by the big guy, and just pleads with him like, hey, you know what? Here's and was honest with him. And the guy, to his credit, and was awesome. His turnaround was awesome, by the way. And he, that whole speech where everybody was going insane. He knocked out the one guy who was kind of instigating bullshit, and then everybody kind of got quiet. And he's like, "Listen, we're Belters. We knew from the day we were born, life was going to be hard." And that speech was awesome. I'm not going to sit there and do the whole thing, but it was brilliant. And it like. I don't know. It was one of the great moments in the show, and the Belters showed what they're made of, like the good side, and that's what this show's really good at. Like not every person in one group is bad or good. It's it's shades of gray, and it showed.
And they line. Oh, sorry. Keep
No,
going.
no, go on, go on.
I was just gonna say, and so basically, what they end up doing is he says, line up. You get children, women, young men, and we're gonna take each, a little bit from each group.
Yep.
And so they bring in some children, or well, actually, they bring in all the children, if I remember correctly.
Yep.
Some of the women and some of the young men, and they cut off, at some point. And Naomi even tells the big guy, she goes, "You have my seat. I'm going to stay."
Yeah, and that's when we get. I mean, that whole scene where like when everybody decided like, okay, some of us aren't going to go, and there was no fighting after that, and you saw the guy like send his mom away, and the lady sends her daughter, and then Naomi lets her in. And you got guys like, you're not going to make it. And they're like, okay, that was cool. That was a cool scene. Yeah. It's all dramatic and written, but I loved it. It was a great scene. And then right when she offered that seat to the big guy, he's like, nope, you're not finished yet. And that was just a freaking awesome scene. And that was really a great way to end it.
Ooh,
with Naomi. It's all right. And then we go to,
pop there. That's all.
We go to, I didn't hear a thing, so it's okay. We go to Holden, who is going, insane. And I'm not going to blame him for going insane. I mean, he watched a million people like turn to liquid, and almost turn to liquid himself. And the guy who helped him get out, died maybe for nothing now, because the protomolecule is still out there. Yeah, all the work he went through to get rid of the protomolecule, and there's some dickhead making it a weapon. And now there's a bunch of them out there. And now he's like, I'm going to stop this one. That's where he's at. It's like, no, I can't stop everything, but I'm going to stop this one. And he's, they're hunting the little blue meanie through the station while trying to evade the no-fly zone for Mars. So, I'm glad they didn't stay on this too long, because it could have there's been a lot of running down corridors. And this show does it, the best, this side of Doctor Who. But, it was the perfect amount of time for this. And, the one thing that's different from the book, Dennis, is like Prax has become friendly with the crew at this point, and like I don't think he's down with any. With any of them.
No, because Holden wants to kill it, and Prax is like, that's still a kid. That we need to talk to it, reason with. He wants to go out and actually try and reason with it. And Holden, I think, is right. He goes, "You saw what it did to that group of scientists. It just ripped them apart. It's not going to listen to you. It's just going to kill you."
Well, and you got two dimensions here. You got it is a kid, and it is scared, but it also not really a kid anymore, and it's protomolecule.
Yeah.
And remember, protomolecule isn't sentient. It is a tool. It is a program. It is a thing that has something to do. And if it's in something, it needs to continue that mission. And for human beings to think that they can control it, I don't know if that's such a good idea. I don't know if they can or not. We'll find out. But they chase it, and it looks like it self-destructs.
I was just going to say, I really did like Holden's explanation to Alex about, Alex is saying, when I first saw the creature out there, he goes, I thought it was hallucinating. And he goes, yeah, the Native Americans too. And they first saw Europeans come with the ships. They couldn't see the ships because it was outside of their experience, and so their brains just could not comprehend it, so they didn't see the ships. And he goes, well, didn't the Europeans wipe out the natives? He goes, exactly.
Yep.
And that's, he goes, not on my watch, kind of thing.
That's also the cloaking device in Hitchhiker. They use the same logic. They land a ship on a pitch in the middle of London, and they're like, "Oh, nobody's going to see it. They just can't comprehend it." I forgot. I'm old. I forgot what it's called. It's got a funny ass name. But I wonder how true that is. I wonder. I don't know. I've heard that story my entire life, and I don't know where it comes from. I could totally believe it. And but it was a great analogy, and I actually had that written in my notes, and I went right past it. So thanks for bringing it up. So
that's what I'm here for.
Alex and Holden are going back and forth. Alex is trying to like rein him in, but he's being the good soldier, and carrying
a couple times he's like, "All right, Captain."
motherfucker. Yeah. And Holden is clearly losing it. And Alex even tries to talk to him. It's like, listen, I have no idea what it was like, but maybe we should just, he's like, nope, you don't know what it's like. I'm going to do this. Prax.
Yeah, at one point he calls Prax plant guy.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. He's all, shut up, plant guy. Don't talk down to me or something like that. I know.
Yeah.
That's great.
Don't be condescending, plant guy.
So, and then, Errinwright, in his little speech to Avasarala, mentions that they targeted the ships outside of, or with the one ship that was doing the no-fly zone, and they destroyed it, and also had the protomolecule. I guess control the protomolecule, and that's what came slamming down. Because during the Naomi scene, all the crowd was kind of panicking. It sounded like something crashed, and I thought it was the blue monster, coming through and gonna kill them all. I thought, oh, they're really gonna do that? That'd be crazy. But it was just that ship getting shot down.
Yeah,
and it was really cool
ship.
How everything kind of happened all at the same time in all three different scenes. And then it looked like the blue meanie had self-destructed, or they self-destructed it, and they, they're like, I can't find it anymore. It's gone. And right at that point, they hear that Naomi's and Melissa are taking off, and
let me stop you real quick. At this point, because excuse me, Holden is so fanatical, he's got Alex actually crashing the Rosamonte through the remains of one of the domes, the agricultural dome. So it's actually literally pushing through the remains of the dome as they're searching for the little blue guy there.
Yeah, they're using the thrusters, and as the Rocinante flies, it actually flies up like a rocket. So that's why they call it the rocket ship, and it's flying like this way, and it's effing up the ship, and it's really hard to do this, and they're hunting, and they were on it. They had a clear shot, and that's right when that was, I guess, right after that's when the no-fly zone thing. And Holden was still like, no, we have to go after it. And Alex is like, listen, Naomi is on that ship, dude.
Yeah, our family's there. We need to protect our family.
Yeah, that's what he said. Protect our family, and I guess that's what snapped Holden out of it. And Mars fires a missile, even though they're saying, "Hey," and they, being Melissa and Naomi, they're like, "Hey, we got refugees on the ship. Don't shoot us." They fire it anyway, and the Rocinante comes in and saves the freaking day. And Naomi's happy to see Holden. I don't know if she's talking to him yet, and I don't, and I kept on thinking, well, can't he go back and get the rest of those people? But I guess not,
Well, no, because all those ships are still there. He can't go back down. They already said, that the dock was also compromised too, so there's no way of them. They kind of covered their bases. Yeah.
They said you couldn't go back and dock on it again. And then we have like Holden's really good badass scene where Alex is like, hey, they all targeting us right now, and he's like, okay, target all of them. And he just kind of explains to them that we'll if you fire on us, then we'll all go down together.
Because you know what we have, what we're capable of, and if you fire on us, he goes, I'm going to fire on all of you, and we'll all go down together. And he goes, this is going to be my one and only final warning. Basically, fuck you all, good night. And then he turns off the comms. And he goes, he tells Alex they're going to stand down. They're going to save their ammo for the other war with Earth. And sure enough, bleep, 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 all the target locks come off. And Alex asks him, he goes, when did you become so, wise?
He's all, I'll take
Holden's like, what?
I know. And then we get the end scene where we see the ship flying away, and look who's a little stowaway there. The monsters in the airlock. Yes. And that's where it ends. And this was the first episode where I was really like, God damn, I want to see the next one, like right away. I just wanted, I haven't even seen the scenes yet. We had to prepare for this podcast. But dude, I just wanted to, I want to see it, but I don't want it to end, because that's the last episode of the season, right? So,
and who's going to be in the last season as a guest star?
Who?
Adam Savage for Mythbusters.
Of course he is. Now, is it confirmed this is their last season? Season 3?
No, they're not done. This is season 2, by the way.
Yeah. You said last season.
I'm saying we have to wait, until next season.
So Adam Savage is going to be in next season.
No, he's going to be in this next episode. I don't know.
Oh, he's going to be. Oh, okay, that's good. Yeah, that's good.
He plays one of the scientists on board, the Venus ship.
That's
looking over Venus.
Oh, was he in the scenes? No.
Yeah, he was in the scenes.
Okay, cool. I can't wait to see that then. All right, good.
Yeah, I was looking at him, I'm like, he looks familiar because he wasn't wearing his glasses. I'm like, oh, that's Adam Savage. Okay.
That's good. I won't say anything. I won't. I'm not gonna do book spoil. We do show spoilers all day long. We assume that if you watch this podcast, you've watched the show. But I will not do book spoilers on you. I will tell you to read or listen to them. They are really entertaining, and they kept a family of 4 from fighting 40 plus, maybe 50 plus hours in a car together. Okay,
that's impressive.
That's really impressive. Yeah. And actually, Logan is obsessed. My 11-year-old, going to be 12. He wants to write his own book now, and he has a detective character that he calls Martin because it's so much different from Miller, and he wears a hat too, and he's like drawing pictures of it. It's great. I like that little chip off the old block there, little nerd. There's not enough of them in the world, so I decided to make a couple more. Okay, my big one's not much of a nerd. He's much cooler than I am, but whatever. Great episode. Cooler. Best non-Miller episode. And right up there with really great episodes from the series, and a very young series. And yeah, I hope we get more than season 3, Dennis. This show deserves better.
Yeah, I hope so too. Who knows what's going to go? I mean, we have a writer's strike that's possibly looming here. We have, who knows what's going to happen? I mean, maybe NBC will find some money and pump it into the show a little bit more.
Like they lack money. I think George R.R. Martin's name is not on this show anywhere, but it's behind it, and I think that has some juice. I think it does. And these books are they're New York Times bestsellers. And these guys are amazingly on time. I don't know how the fuck they do it, but their books are out every year. They come out with a book. Now it's 2 guys writing, but it's like every November, boom, 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 they got a book. That's really impressive, and they're good. They're good. They have their slow moments. There's a couple that are, not as good as the others, but solid book series. So I know I say it every episode, and I'm going to continue saying it. Read or listen to the books. They're freaking magnificent. Dennis, next week is my God, it's our last recap of the Expanse, and we've only got one other shows that we recap, and we got Doctor Who coming up Saturday, which I'm very excited about. Now I'm going to be doing that one solo.
At some point, I think Mel's going to be doing iZombie with me.
Yes. So we're going to do an iZombie recap.
Yep. We have The Genius with John.
And Ben.
Going to be doing that. And Ben, yes. What other shows do we have? I think that's it.
That's it. If you guys want to, we might get one more CW roundup with all the CW shows with you guys talking about all the finales and stuff.
Yeah, but, it starts back up again in April.
To explain what The Genius is real quick, it is a South Korean reality show with South Korean celebrities. It's kind of weird, kind of out there, but kind of rad. And John and Ben, who are reality TV, junkies, do this podcast for Nerdrotic, and we greatly appreciate it. Yeah. So, and if you like Doctor Who, I will be live Saturday, 9:00 after every episode. And I will be doing a preview podcast that'll be coming out in 2 days. Let's do some more business. All of our podcasts and videos can be found at nerdrotic.com. We have a YouTube channel. It is the Nerdrotic channel. We have a Facebook page called the Nerdrotic Podcast. Please like, comment, or don't like, but visit us. Give us a shot, please. Go to our website, like I said, nerdrotic.com. That's where everything is embedded, and you can comment follow us right on that one as well. Sorry, I don't mean to point. We are on Podomatic and iTunes. Please subscribe, and again, comment and rate us. It helps. We like to hear from you. We have been hearing a lot from the Expanse fans. I still have to finish reading the comments from last week's video, so I apologize. I will respond to everybody, good and bad. I can take it. I got thick skin. So, Dennis, anything else?
No, that's about it. I mean, yeah.
Well, we got
Oh,
Twitters.
we also have the Neurotic Podcast flagship, which has all our news items. We do that once a week. That's actually how we started this podcast. We've been doing that for 3 years now. And we've got that coming up every week, every Monday, I believe it comes out. And yes, we do have Twitter accounts. I can be found at DeForce, DAFORCE. John Reed can be found at John Reed 16, no H in that. Gary is our main Twitter handle. That's at Nerdrotics with an S. And Melissa can be found at Agent Bossy Boots. And we also have an Instagram account, which is Nerdrotic. You can follow us there. And am I forgetting anything else?
No, that's it. Take us out, baby.
Don't let the door hit your ass on the way out, America.
May the small folks sing songs of your greatness. Thanks for watching. See you next week.
Good night, everyone.
Good night.